welcome back to another episode of the Social Exchange Project. I'm your host, Shang Elizabeth Lore, and today I am so pumped because we're filming on a day that I normally don't film, and I'm here with one of my really, really, really good friends, and I just love and adore him. Miles Blvd just dropped a surprise mixtape / album a few weeks ago called Language That I'm Deeply Ashamed Of and Will Regret Forever. And I'm just really privileged and honored to have this conversation. So thank you so much for being here tonight.
Well, thanks for having me, man. This is a long time coming. I'm glad we're finally doing it because this has
been like
it's been on my list.
I invited you right as I feel like 2 years ago almost, or a year and a half ago.
It was like right when we met, and I think at that time I was like, you just wait. You know, I'm working on some shit right now. Let's wait to have this conversation until, this thing that I've been crafting is done. And man, here we are, baby. Here we fucking are.
And it was a surprise drop. Was that intentional?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The reason being is because I get so annoyed when I see people jump online on Facebook or Instagram and just be like, oh, new shit coming. We're about to change the game, blah, blah, blah. And then hype it. And then nothing. Yeah. You hear nothing, and my whole approach to this whole year is I'm going to walk the walk. You know what I'm saying? We're not about the extra shit. We're not about the dumb content shit. No, we're about the art. And instead of telling you, I'm going to show you. So I'm just going to drop it. And we're going to start the year off with a bang. And that was the whole plan.
Yeah. And I feel like you've been telling me about this project you've been working on, and obviously now I've consumed it fully 24/7.
Heck yeah, me too, dude. Me too. It's so, I can't believe it's finally out, dude.
I know.
It's so long. I started writing it in 2017. So the fact that this thing is finally out in the world and my baby is not my baby anymore is fucking. It's
you birthed it and now it belongs to everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's surreal. Honestly, it's I didn't. Oh, man, it's just unbelievable. The amount of relief off my shoulders, the ability to work on new shit now, and because this was kind of I wouldn't say a past project, but it represented a time in my life that I already passed, and so I have to catch up to where I am right now, and I want to do that through my music, and so I'm still playing catch up to right now, and so that's the whole goal of this year is just to go fucking hard.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I know. You got a lot more stuff happening this year. It's the year of Miles Blvd.
Yeah, it's Boulevard season all year. It's all year. It's not stopping. No, get out of my way.
2022 is Miles Blvd's year.
That's right. And that's why I dropped it on that's why I dropped it on 2/22/22 on a Tuesday because
oh shit.
2022 is my fucking year, baby. We out here. I
didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Was that intentional?
Absolutely it was.
Oh my gosh. I see, this is what I really appreciate about you because as I've gotten to know you the last few years, I don't even know. We were trying to figure out how we met.
Yeah.
I know who we met through, but I don't know how, because I also feel like I knew you separately from TYB.
Yeah, shout out TYB.
Yes, I love him. He's my dude. But I discovered your music separately.
Oh, really?
And I did, and I discovered it separately, and I remembered reaching out to you like a really weird fangirl. Do you remember this?
I vaguely remember, yes.
And I was like, oh my gosh, your music's so good. Keep on keeping on that. I remember saying stuff like that to you, and I had listened to a lot of the older stuff that you say you don't mess with no more, but I think
it's good. I just don't listen to it very much, because
why is that?
Well, because I feel like the growth has just been exponential since that point. And that first project dropped.
I could definitely tell, and there's been a lot of growth and evolution from those albums.
And so it's just tracks, as an artist, it's hard for me to go back and listen to my first stuff and be
why do you feel cringe?
Not cringe. What? Yeah, I cringe all the time listening to it. I mean, there's bangers. Ramones is so good.
Yes,
bro.
with Justin Anderson.
Justin's on that shit. Kate McGarvey. Shout out Kate McGarvey. Shout out Justin Anderson. We out here.
Yeah.
Motherfucking Sunset was sick.
Sunset is probably one of my favorite tracks.
Thank you.
That's what I felt like. I felt like it was the first song, and maybe it's just the first song too on the album that you had, but literally I was so connected to that.
It's such a vibe. That it's just a very chill.
Kate,
song.
They're the best.
Oh,
so
Kate,
good.
The best, dude.
Fucking the best, yeah.
Yeah, and so it's kind of. you get what I'm saying though. Like it's hard for me to go back to hear my early shit compared to now, you know, because from then to Update from Isolation, there was a clear progression in that, and from Update from Isolation to Language That I'm Deeply Ashamed Of and Will Regret Forever, the growth is just, it just keeps going. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the thing that I'm most excited about with this release, is because like I've been working on it for so long that I didn't know how I was gonna feel when it was finally done. You know what I'm saying? Like I will always ask myself, like, will I be excited? Will I be scared? Will I be sad? You know, because like
it doesn't just belong to you anymore.
Exactly. Yeah. And this has been my obsession, straight up, for the last 5 years. And so the thing that struck me with this is that like when it finally was done, I have this overwhelming sense of on to the next one. You know what I'm saying? The progression, there's still so much room for progression. And that's the thing that excites me the most, is that like I still think I can get better. And this project is so good. Like it's so good. And I'm so proud of it. And the fact that I think and know that I can get better is just, it's so dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, so I want to ask, so going back to some of the earlier stuff that you have done, how do you think you've grown, and what does that look like? Because I remember you saying the other day when we were shooting your video, you're like, oh man, I'm just like a way better writer now.
Yeah.
Or like it took me a little bit to kind of refine my writing.
Absolutely.
Like, what is that process like? I can't even relate, because I write a little bit, but I can't relate to like what that looks like. I said to you, when I read through your lyrics, it's like poetry to me.
Thank you.
Because a lot of people, when they write music, it's like storytelling, and yours is like storytelling too, but I relate it more to like poetry.
I love that you say that, because
it's true.
That's very much my goal too, is I want it to be very poetic. You know what I'm saying? Like instead of like I could easily jump on a track and be like, yeah man, fuck this bitch, and instead of saying something like that, I'm like, that's
also fine if you say that.
I mean, I could, but like instead of saying that, I'd be like, I bask in our ocean while I'm gasping for air. Voluptuous set of seas, shit, I'm grasping a pair. I'm mollywopping the maid, I'm flabbergasting the pair. I flip my love on her back and have her asking for airs. Like,
I can't even drink my water right now.
Let's go, turn up.
No, but it's so true. Like, I feel like,
I think the difference is description.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing, is I always try to be the most descriptive as I can, because it allows the listener to really formulate this vision, right? And that's the best. And it's like, music is visual, you know? And so I just want to create something really, first of all, sexy, because poetry is sexy as fuck. And the way that words can just intertwine with each other and work together, and just like, man, I just want to flex like that, instead of like the content, like flexing. What is that? You know, like I want to just like create something really clever, really witty, really sexy, but also like really engaging and really substantive. You know what I'm saying? And so I think when I was younger, to answer your question, I think I was still I wasn't as confident, for sure. I was really like thirsty.
Like in your writing ability, or just in general?
Just as an artist, as a person, as an artist.
Okay.
I was young. I was let's see, I'm 26 now, so that I was 21. I was a fresh 21. And so the confidence from then to now grew a lot, and I think I'm very just came into my own person. Back then, I just really wanted to be someone, and wrote, not that it wasn't authentic, but just wrote in a style that I thought I had to. And sometimes,
like template style.
Yeah. And it very much was like, okay, this is my this song, you know. And it wasn't like, you know, like this is my song for the girls, or this is my political song, or like that's just so whack, because like now I don't create like that anymore. You know what I'm saying?
So like, how do you create? Like, so this took you 5 years.
Yeah.
So it's 5 years in the making.
Yeah.
First of all, like, why did it take you 5 years to like want to actually showcase this to the world? And like what inspired you to like write all the different tracks?
Sorry, what was the first question?
So like why it took 5 years for you to finally
right.
like want to release this to the world? Because when I met you, it was definitely not 5 years ago.
No.
It was a few years ago.
Yeah.
But you had been talking about this project for a while. And so this is something you were, I mean, I could tell like the way you spoke about it, you were super proud of it and you wanted to like share it with everyone. But it was almost like you were coveting it too.
I was, yeah.
You know, so like I guess the first question is the duration of time. Like, was there a reason why you didn't want to release it and share it with the world yet?
Absolutely. I held a super high standard for this project. And similar to just how I've approached my career is that like when I started making music, I knew it was going to be an uphill climb, right? You know, nothing worth doing is going to come overnight. And so I knew that I was going to be good one day. I knew it was going to take a lot of time and a lot of practice and a lot of failure, a lot of dead ends, a lot of shitty shows, a lot of embarrassing shit. That's all part of making an artist. And so I knew at the time that I wasn't good enough for this concept that I had, but I knew I would grow into it, you know, and that was the faith that I had in myself, and the trust that I had in myself as an artist to grow into that. I knew it wasn't going to be overnight, but I knew it was going to take some time. And I would say that I held a close to perfect standard when I was making it, which is not healthy. And I think that contributed to how long it took as well, because like,
that was your standard.
That was the standard. And I was like, I knew how good I wanted it to be. And I was not going to release it until I felt that I reached that point. I'm kind of getting emotional. Like, I'm fucking at that point right now. My fucking pen is so good right now. I could hang with anyone. Like, get me in the studio with anyone. I'll go bar for bar with anyone.
Well, lyrically, I've always respected you for that reason. I've told you.
Thank you.
Like,
You always.
I have.
Your hype is unmatched out here. Like, seriously.
Stop it. Keep going.
Oh.
But it's true. Like, I genuinely mean it for everything I say. Is like, I'm like, oh my gosh, lyrically, when you write, it's like I connect with it, and I don't even have those experiences.
Well, good. That's the whole point, right? That's the whole point. So good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you dig it, because, man, like I said, the time and the effort that's been put into the craft is just, I can't describe it. You know, it's so personal. It's spiritual. You know, and just to have like, I'm just really proud of myself from a young age, understanding and knowing in myself that it's gonna take time, and like the fact that like we're finally at that moment is, I don't know, it's just it's a dream come true, honestly. Like, this project was so special. It is so special to me, you know, and the creation of it just meant so much. And like I said, I just didn't want to offer it to people until I felt that it was at its peak. And so yeah, we're here now.
So I want to talk about, like, right away when you released this, a surprise drop, you tagged a whole bunch of people, obviously, who contributed to this and influenced you and helped motivate you to continue onwards with the project. You made it really clear what your favorite track was.
Yeah.
And that is one of the songs that we obviously shot, and I think it went really well, and I'm super proud of the product that we're about to provide with to everyone.
Yep.
But like, why was that your favorite song? Like, you talked a little bit about why, but I would, you know, I don't want to duplicate what we've had in private talks, but
I mean, we can, no, because no one else has heard what we've talked about.
Yeah.
The song for anyone who hasn't heard it yet is called "I Know a Bitch When I See One."
I'm genuinely hurt.
I'm looking right at you when I say that. I'm looking right at you.
No, but that was, you made it very clear. That's my favorite track 3,
yep,
right?
Absolutely. So. The beat has such a dope groove to it. You know, like, the sample is sick. The message behind it, though, is what really resonates with me, is because the whole song is about like imposter syndrome, and it's that voice in the back of your head that's like, what do you think you can fucking hang out here? Do you think you're a fucking rapper? Big, you know, like.
But it's a dialogue between you and yourself,
yes,
right?
Yeah, it's that voice in the back of your head saying you can't do something, and just that gnawing demon that we all have to deal with at some point, you know. And so it's, the whole song is written from that perspective, like me just like degrading myself the worst that I could do, because that's literally what I have to deal with when I create. And so I purposely put that song in the beginning of the project, because I wanted people to understand the mentality that goes into the rest of the project. You know, it's like, these are the things that I need to overcome to give you the rest of this. And so I wanted to put on display what that inner monologue sounds like, because it's gotten a lot better, but I have a very like self-destructive inner monologue, and just like.
Well, is that related to that standard that you have also, that perfectionist standard?
Absolutely.
off the top, man, I'm moving, I don't feel a tweak or suffice. Y'all motherfuckers are sweet, if I speak then I'm raising my price. Hell of a lesson, that hell is a blessing, you hell of a lame. Rather just show you than tell you, got 25 years with the game. And I came to fuck up the place, I came to fuck up the plan, I came to fuck on the face. How could you fuck with your mans, you stuck in the stands, you getting replaced. We run up a scheme, then one of the scene, then thumb up some green, yeah. Whoa, we see that you ain't with no action, baby. Looking for any distraction, baby. Hope that you get what you asking, baby. Never been one for the ration, baby. Hook you if you with the Ritz, never the gate of the kicks. Popping you dudes for the blunts, burn every bridge when you blitz, yeah. There's no loss if you learn, and still you tossing and turning. A faucet burning for some momentary frivolous love, but you're thirsting for props, got you worse than your pops. Congratulations, you flopped. So listen, playboy, no love. Ray, don't play coy, no that. Ring round the rosy with you. From the love that you landed, worse than stuck, now you're stranded. Just keep it candid till the wild run dry. Oh man, we telling them would you fool? Reimagine the pictures we could paint. Your living is quaint, still performing below potential. Your partners will have to scale the story. Pathetic prince still patrolling inside of purgatory. Your whales of glory and territories we common here. I love when you wrestle, your mind a vessel, the commandeer. The common fear is rejection, but you ain't even try. Project your voice, I promise that you can never die. Forever fried, stringing together lies. Lost inside a perspective, look at the pain in those eyes. And they don't care who you are, where you've been, what you think, who you love, what you want, who you flaunt, what you drink. But you sit back as you ply. Sit back as you lie. Right here where you'll ride. Right here. We don't care what you got. We don't care. Cause you can't be what you're not. So listen, playboy, no love. Ray, don't play coy, no they. Ring round the rosy with you. From the love that you landed, worse than stuck, now you're stranded. Just keep it candid till the wild run dry.
And one thing I was going to say earlier about being a perfectionist is that, like, for any creatives out there, if you haven't heard this already, is that, like, perfection is the killer of creativity. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that's your goal is perfection, you're never going to reach it. Mm-hmm. Therefore, you're never going to put out any content. You're never going to put out any art. You're never going to express yourself. And if that's the standard you're going to hold. So that's something I
needed
learned.
To hear that.
Yeah. No,
I'm
for real.
also a perfectionist.
Yeah.
And I consider myself like a creative too. I don't do music or anything.
You're very much a creative.
I consume all of like artists, like art, you know.
You're an artist.
And I create and
Absolutely.
I produce. I think I'm like a producer, but I'm like at a point where I'm
look at us. We're absolutely.
We're producing.
Yeah.
We're creating, and so like for me, I don't ever want to reveal or provide anything that is subpar.
Yeah.
So I get that perfectionist mentality.
Yeah.
However, it does like fuck me up.
Yeah.
Creatively.
It does. It stunts it, man.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
But it's good though, because
it's nice to hear you have that too.
Absolutely. Well,
not like we're trauma bonding.
Yeah. Oh, look at us. I think it was just because we love what we do so much.
Yeah.
You know, like seriously, just such a deep, genuine passion for what we do that you don't want to give any cookie cutter bullshit.
Yeah.
You don't want to do the bare minimum. If I'm gonna make a song, I'm going in, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to create something that's, you know, conceptual or like just dope or just groove. I don't know. It's just, you get it. You don't,
yeah, I get
like when
it.
we met up for the video shoots, that was so dope to see all of us in our element together. You know what I'm saying? Because though we're all homies, it was so professional, and we were about it, you know.
Yeah.
Like we were trying to get.
Well, we clearly care about like the highest quality
Yeah.
of what we can do, and
As
like,
you should.
And we plan, like, you can plan for anything. I'm like such a planner.
Are you?
But I am
Yeah.
like psychotically a planner. But at the same time, it's like there's some things when it comes to creativity you can't plan.
Yeah,
Like how many times did we impromptu and improv stuff that
Yeah,
day?
well, absolutely. That's like the best stuff,
It really is.
you know. And I think I'm like the opposite, and where I'm very spontaneous and very like I have to just do that. I'm not good at planning, just because I never know how I'm feeling, you know.
Yeah, you're mood based.
I'm very mood based. Yeah, very,
That's okay. I am
very
too,
very
sometimes.
emotional guy over here. What were we talking about? I'm sorry.
But I feel well, we were talking about like creativity and perfectionism.
Oh,
and
right,
that,
right, yeah.
but-
No, yeah.
Well,
Don't be a perfectionist.
originally, I feel like I was asking more about like why track 3 was,
Oh, that's right.
yeah,
Yeah.
like why that was your song, and like I get it because in like our personal hangout times, you've spoken to me about it because I'm like super curious all the time, like
Yeah.
how an artist comes up with stuff, because I like live vicariously through artists, and so for the fact that like you were able to explain to me that for that track it was you feeling like an imposter, feeling like not self-doubt, but it was that dialogue of like not sure if this is the right track, and then all of a sudden all these other tracks like I'm the best, I'm like
Yeah.
killing it out here, you know. And so it's like such a contrast between
Right.
different songs and things, and so
Oh man. Okay. There's a couple points I want to make.
yeah, go for it,
So-
for it.
Going back to the song itself, another reason why I like it so much is because this was the first one I really put my singing chops on display, because I've been singing for a long time.
Yeah, dude, those vocals were butter. First of all,
Thank you.
How many times have I said that to you?
Butter. Can't believe it's not butter. No, but I've been singing since I was really young, and people don't know that. Like I've been in choir since I was in 5th grade, just like anything.
I didn't know
could.
that.
Yeah, no, because I don't showcase it very much. But that's what's giving me my vocal control, and my comfortability in my voice. And so thankfully I've been doing that for a long time, and I was gonna have a couple of people on that track singing the hook, but things just fell through. And
Well, it made the most sense that you did it, to be honest.
It does,
the
yeah.
final product to me makes the most sense.
Yeah.
And like, okay, this is awkward. I'm gonna say this
Say it.
anyway.
Let's go. Turn up.
Remember how like I came over to your place and I was like, oh my god, I was listening to your music and you have like the sexiest voice. We're bros, okay? We're homies.
Yeah,
we're good.
no.
But I was like, dude, your voice is so good. Like lyrically, like the way you present yourself in a song, like when you rap, but definitely when you sing, I'm like, oh my god, I didn't even know that vocally you had those capabilities. And so
Thank
I
you.
think this song was just done perfectly, and I almost feel like in some ways it was exactly how it should have been because you got to sing on your favorite song.
Absolutely. And I'm really glad it turned out that way too, because it is such a personal song that like in retrospect it makes way more sense that I'm singing it. You want to know a funny story about that song?
Yeah, go for it.
So
I do, and I hope it's funny, and I hope I laugh. I'm just kidding.
I mean, it's not like ha funny, but it's just like a little like
interesting tidbit.
little nugget. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were in the studio recording, and I was tripping balls on acid when we made that song. And we, like I said, some
Dare
people
actually sponsors our podcast.
I dare you to hit me up. No, but like I said, we were supposed to have singers on it, and I was just like, you know what, man? Fuck it. I'm gonna do this shit. I'm gonna sing on this shit. And obviously my perception was a little distorted that night, and so, you know, it sounded great, but it wasn't until the next day when we went back to listen to what we had recorded, because we were up to like 2 or 3 in the morning.
Who's
that
we?
night.
You and
Justin?
Justin?
Yep, Justin.
Yeah,
and I.
our
Justin,
dude.
my
Yeah.
fucking my goose, my
Yeah.
goose to my maverick.
I love Justin.
Yeah, he's the best.
But it was until the next day.
Yes, it wasn't until the next day we went back, and I'm not kidding. We listened to it, we pressed play, and I just started bawling. Like seriously, like crying, like for a hot like 5-10 minutes. That's the best song I've ever made. And I knew that in that moment, that this is such a special piece of art, and that when someone hears it, they're gonna get it. They might not get me right away, but they're gonna feel this. And I was so proud. I still am so proud. So that's why you hear me talk about it all the time. Is like, listen to this fucking song. You know, like, it's just, I'm so proud of it. It's my favorite song I've ever made.
Well, it's obvious that you're like really emotionally connected to it, because it is a huge reflection of like maybe your growth and like the way that you're trying to communicate to your fans, like people who are listening.
Absolutely.
You know?
It was so layered too. Like there's backing harmonies the whole time. Like I've never really done shit like that, and it's just like there's so much going on, and it's just so beautiful and so chaotic at the same time. It's just it's I'm so proud of it.
Yeah.
But to your other point about like why I chose that song about such like a like self-deprecating topic. Yeah, that's the right phrase. Yeah, that's the right phrase. And then right after that, having Irrelevant Rambles, which regardless of the title,
you killed it
is a
in
flex.
that one
I'm
too.
going in on that shit.
Like lyrically, you
yeah,
killed
just
it.
going in. And so to your point is that I wanted that contrast on full display, because I just love duality. I love contrast. That is something that just like, man, I get hyped on that shit. And so that's also why I Know a Bitch is my favorite too, because like the song itself, like the beat, like the music is so like cheerful and soulful and uplifting, but the message, like the lyrics are so heavy and so dense.
Yeah.
And
like if you actually sit and analyze it,
yeah,
it is.
it's a heavy song. And so I wanted that contrast again of like light and dark together. That's where my name comes from as well. Like I've always been obsessed with contrast. Is like Miles is derived from the actor Miles Teller, because I just love his work. I've always resonated with his characters. I feel like he's just like I resonate with his spirit a lot, and it reminds me of my like positive traits, like being charming and being outgoing and being very social and just, you know, like being that guy. And so I wanted that to represent the light. And then Boulevard reminds me of just like driving by myself in my car, which is my favorite place. And so I wanted, and that's where I do like a lot, all of us, a lot of deep thinking, a lot of time with yourself, reflecting. So I wanted the more like introspective, darker side represented as well. And like the two together, Miles Boulevard, to just be like that
all in one.
All in one, because that's what life is.
And that's what a human is. Like
exactly.
That is literally humanity, because it's
Absolutely.
not mutually exclusive.
Right.
That you can be happy and sad at the same time,
Right.
or like insecure and confident at the same time.
There's nuance to that shit, man. I think a lot of people like, I think we get it, but like we don't think about it very much. It's like we're so like, our thinking is so boxed. You know, and you're right. You can be self-conscious about something and super confident in other aspects at the same time. There is that nuance, and so I wanted that sonically on display on this record. I'm all about doing shit in a subtle way. You know what I'm saying? So instead of telling you, I want to show you. Because
I think that's truly what art is, because I
Yeah.
think if you're telling people, it actually like takes away from their experience.
It does, because then they
You
have to
know?
perceive it. You know, it's
Yeah.
all about perception. And so
So if you're telling them what they should be perceiving or
Right.
interpreting this as, like, it takes away from the whole experience, and it's not like a wholesome experience for them.
yeah, absolutely. And that's what art is. It's just like your personal
There's some
interpretation.
deep stuff right now.
I love it. What else are we gonna talk about? You know?
I know. I'm like, so I do want to talk about the rest of the album as well, because
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
know I had a couple favorites. How many times did I change my favorites on here?
Yeah, you were just saying right
I
before
like
we started.
texted you. I'm like, oh my
I don't
gosh,
know.
I can't figure it out. But like, I sent you all these different tracks. I'm like, I don't know, man. There's just so many. I think it's like maybe like when we talk movie base, it might have been because how I connected with you as a person and then you as an artist.
Yeah.
I do think there's a difference in how I connect with you in those two, I guess like spaces. I guess yeah, that's a good word. Because I feel like as a friend, I understand like the thought processes behind things, but then as an artist, I'm looking at your finished product.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And your finished product, like, how does that speak to me and how am I engaged in that? And so there's been, I know a lot of people's favorites is the Somewhere in Barstow. Because Sarah Orr, she's a friend of the show. She's been on the show before.
Sarah's so
the harp
talented.
just kills it.
So sick.
I don't know what it is. It just transforms me to a whole different galaxy. And a lot of people obviously have spoken a lot about that song. She shared it. Obviously, Justin hooked that up. Like, why start the album off that way? Like, I know it's like an introductory kind of like melancholy type of vibe, but like, why start it off that way? And how did you get her involved in this?
The beat itself is really spacey, like really psychedelic, really, it reminds me of like a Disney movie, like the opening credits to a Disney movie. And I was listening to it and I was like, you know what? There's something missing with this. I don't know what it is. And it just, nothing really prompted it. I just thought of it. I was like, dude, a fucking harp on this shit would be so. Oh, guess what? I know a great harpist.
Oh, weird.
The best
but
harpist is Sarah Orr, and so Justin hooked that up because they're homies, and I just never heard a harp on a rap album or a mixtape before, you know, like I've never heard a live harp, not sampled, a live harp used, and so I was like, dude, that's pretty sick. I'm gonna.
She
do
came
that.
in clutch, clearly.
Came in clutch as fuck, and she was so talented that she came in, and I had sent her the song like a couple days before we went to the studio, and she just freestyled that shit. She just came in and just laid that down.
Really?
She didn't have it. I don't play. I don't write music, so I couldn't be like, here, play this. You know, like I don't fucking know how to play harp. And so she just, man, we just hunkered down in the studio, and she just did her thing, man. It was so sick. And yeah, thank you so much, Sarah, because that was just the perfect missing piece to that intro song.
Like in a lot of ways. I mean, it's so weird because I talked about this and you talked about duality before too, but like the vocals were like deep and like more male, like masculine, you know, and then you have like this like kind of cheery kind of harp vibe to it, and it was just like so cool to experience that, and that was your intro to your entire like album mixtape.
I wanted it to be like really soothing. You know?
And it was.
I wanted it to be something that people could listen to, and it kind of has this quality that stops you, you know, because it is so tranquil, and it like just like it's not something you're gonna listen to when you're stressed out, or if you are stressed out, it's gonna be something that you just like come down with.
Well, that's kind of just like the harp too in a lot of ways.
Yeah, absolutely. And so in a way, it was just the calm before the storm. That's what I looked at it as. It's like we're gonna start off really soothing. I thought of this song as underwater. That's how I thought of it. And so I thought of it as like, all right, we're taking this plunge together, you know, down into this water. Do you like Star Wars?
I do. Okay, so sidebar conversation.
Yeah, it's relevant.
Totally, maybe not relevant, but I hadn't actually watched Star Wars until like a couple years ago. And I totally get why people are why they fuck with it.
Just geeks, bro. Geeks about that shit.
It's way beyond its time.
It's so dope, bro. Especially the originals. They're so sick.
Absolutely. But anyway, back to Star Wars.
Yes. So in episode 1, the fourth one, Jar Jar Binks takes Anakin and Anakin's not there. It's Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon Jinn down into like the swamp, and then in the swamp there's like this huge beautiful kingdom. And when I was making,
and you never would have thought it existed under that swamp.
Exactly. And so like when I was making this, I pictured that dive, that first scene when they're swimming up to the palace, like this huge kingdom, and like I wanted to make a song that sounds like that looked. You know what I'm saying?
I'm obsessed with your brain right now.
Thanks.
I go back to, I'm so intrigued by an artist's like brain and their framework and what inspires them and stuff. Like I can't even imagine how that would have been like to be like, I want this song to sound like how that looks. Like I can't relate to that. I feel like I am an artist in other ways, but that stuff is like so intriguing to me, you know?
I don't know what it is. Well, it goes back to what I said earlier, that is like music's visual, you know? And I often
which is weird. And I say that because music is usually like,
you think of it as just auditory.
Auditory.
Yeah. No, I tend to blend the two. And
what do you see in your mind like then when you're like performing or hearing music?
Colors.
Interesting.
Yeah, I associate colors to what I create, and like tones, you know, like warm tones, cool tones, like I think about colors a lot.
I think of like puzzle pieces.
Yeah.
Is that weird?
That's how I feel when I'm writing.
Okay.
It's just like, okay, we got this piece over here. We gotta piece them together real quick, and it's just like, it is a puzzle. It's something that it's like almost like an equation, almost. You know, something that you solve, and when you get the lyric, it's like, oh shit. Yeah. I solved it, you know, and it's so satisfying. It's a game almost. You know, it's like
Tetris.
Yeah, this ain't no game out here, but it's a game. Yeah.
Wait, so like when I listen to music, I've said this so many times to so many people. I can listen to a song or an album well over 100 times.
Yeah.
And
me too. I burn the shit out of songs.
Yes. And I feel it like the same way each time, but then I try to like deeply analyze the music and the artist. I relate to the artist. But for some reason, sometimes I listen more to the instruments or the like the songs and the sound more than I know the lyrics are there, but I think I listen to more of the like, I don't know, instrumental. Is that like how you listen or consume music too, or is that just me? Am I the only loner in that?
No, I think you're totally not alone in that. I think a lot of people listen to music
because
like
I tie my emotions to how I'm hearing the music.
Yeah.
Versus like listening to the lyrics. If that makes sense, sometimes.
That makes so much sense.
That's why I'm like, send me your lyrics because I want to analyze them deeper.
Right.
You know.
That makes sense for you as a person because you're a big empath. And just like me, if something starts to play, you're going to absorb that. And it's going to make you feel a type of way. So it's very natural that you perceive music like
Wouldn't
that.
you think, though, as like an empath, that you would like be more interested in what the person's saying or what they're...
Yes, but like subconsciously, the music first sets the tone of what that song is going to be.
Yeah.
What the vibe is, you know, like what the colors are. The music comes first always, and so I look at lyrics as just another instrument. It's just another layer to that, and that's what words are. Like, words are okay. We're gonna get like kind of deep here.
Let's get deep.
But like
this is like this is literally a snapshot of our basic conversation.
The fact that you and I are just talking. Yeah. We're making noises that you and I can understand. But really, when it comes down to it, they're just grunts and noises and like a combination of these different sounds that we...
And yet we're communicating.
And we're communicating, which is super dope. But like from that, you can understand why you can just use vocals as an instrument. It's rhythmic. You know what I'm saying? So you can just be like, that's why I like scatting and jazz, like zibbity bop doop bop. Like that's how I write at first, is like coming up with the melodies and coming up with the different cadences. It's like bullshit, just random shit. This is like just to myself, and then the lyrics come after. But it's all about creating that experience with that new instrument, you know, and laying out the whatever, you know, the help me out here,
the arrangement of the song.
But
it's like, but words tie to meaning, though, you know.
Absolutely. And so that's when the importance of the words come in too. So if you come up with a great melody and put some great words over that over a great beat, well, that's a great fucking song.
Well, you just killed it.
You just killed it.
You
so
just got
your job is done.
A surprise mixtape that just killed it.
Exactly. And so, that's kind of my thinking on that.
Yeah, it's just really weird. Like, it's weird for me because whenever I talk to people, like all different genres and all different backgrounds and things, I still always go back to like literally if it's like hard rock or something, I'm listening to the percussion or I'm listening to those types of things as part of the like music or the song rather than the lyrics. And sometimes I've listened to the song like over 100 times, I still don't know the lyrics because that isn't my primary that I'm listening to.
I have a question for you.
Yeah, go for it.
Are you the type of person that listens to the same shit over and over and over and over and over?
Yes, I am.
Okay. You know what I've deduced that to? Because I'm the same way. Like I've had like friends or partners that are like, you listen to the same shit all the time. I'm like, well, because it hits every
By the way,
time.
I'm listening to you over and over.
Props. Yeah.
Yeah. But I am that person. Yes, you're correct.
I've figured out that like, because I asked myself why. Why do I do that? You know, why am I the type of person that just listens to the same shit over?
Oh, so you're the same person. You're telling me that.
I resonate with what you're saying because I do the same thing with the songs.
I thought you were bullying me right now. I'm just
no, I do the same thing, and so I've derived that it's derived from pleasure. It's this very specific arrangement of sounds that it just hits a very specific place in our brains that is just like
it makes sense.
This is the shit.
Yeah.
And there's nothing else like this. So why would I listen to anything else? Because this is the shit.
That's so true.
You know, and it's just like I want to keep going. I want to keep getting that high.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
It's so true.
It's a pleasure thing. And so that's something that I deal with a lot in my personal life is the lack of moderation with pleasure. And so I'll just listen to the same song over and over and over and over and over and over. And we can talk about that, but that like me coming to terms with the fact that like I thought I had I do kind of have an addictive personality, but that it's not to a certain thing. Was the issue. I don't have a substance issue with anything. It's just like pleasure. So it could be like sexual, it could be drugs, it could be music, it could be anything. But it's the pleasure aspect of it. And so that going back to the music is like these songs hit just like a very specific place, and you just want to scratch that itch more and more. You know, it's just like it's so good.
I think you're right, because how many times have you and I like said to each other, like, we're like kind of the same person when it comes to like how much we love and care for people, and we just are like deep
big
empaths.
big feelings when you and I are in the room.
Big affectionate, loving feelings, and we're both just like really affectionate towards people, and we tell them how we feel about them.
Absolutely, and don't hold back. And I think some
and
people,
we don't apologize for it either.
No, fuck no. And
we
some
love
people,
that.
some people get intimidated by that shit or don't know how to handle it. But it's like, I don't know, man.
I don't care. That's me. Like, can we love you?
Like let me love you, and also like
take my love.
The world is so shitty, and we all go through so much shit in our personal lives, and I think loss has taught me like to really cherish your people, and so like, of course I'm gonna tell you how great you are and I love you. Like I think it was weird for a couple of my friends to like hear me say that. But I always tell my friends that.
Which friends? I'm just kidding.
I'm gonna put them on blast. No, actually, no. All the homies are really good. We all tell each other we love each other, which is dope, dude. Like that's super dope. It's not like
I think that should be more normalized.
I think it should be too. I think
as long as it's obviously genuine. But
absolutely.
Yeah, but I feel like when I really love and care for somebody, I tell them.
Let them know.
If you look good today, I'm gonna tell you.
Damn right.
I don't know why you would ever hold back and on any of those like positive.
Spread
things
joy,
at
man.
all.
Spread
100%.
love, because like this world is so. Spread some joy. If someone looks good, tell them.
I feel like I resonate with that a lot,
but not in a creepy way. Don't be weird about it.
Okay. I feel attacked right now. I'm just kidding. No,
I looked right at you when I said that.
I know. No, I know. Like I do.
Like don't like go up to someone and be like, oh my god, your voice is so sexy.
Shut up. I totally did that to you.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I totally did that. But I did that as a friend, obviously, because I feel like I had to tell you. I'm like, I love your voice. But no.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Because I worked on my voice a long time too. My voice did not sound like my rapping voice and singing voice did not sound like that when I started.
Well, I feel like your rapping voice and your singing voice sounds very different. But so going back, I do think that we're both very similar in that way. Like we love hard and we don't apologize for it.
Absolutely.
Like.
And that's I think why we connect so well.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because we're just very intense,
we just
passionate,
get it.
Very passionate people. Yeah.
We just get it. And like I had mentioned, like this is the first interview that I've done where I don't plan anything because I'm like I don't need to plan anything with you because it just makes sense. We could talk forever about all this stuff.
That's one of the bigger aspects that I was excited about this platform is that like we're just homies talking, and that's the coolest shit is that we don't even have to be like official or obviously we're gonna be professional, but like it's dope.
We absolutely have not.
We can just be candid though. Like we don't have to be like, well, like what? I don't know. Just it doesn't have to be stuffy.
That's not really me, but I do appreciate though. Like there's different environments that you could do that with, but that's just not us.
Yeah, it's very specific to this dynamic. And while we're on the topic, I just want to say that I'm super grateful and glad to be here. Like I've wanted to do this for a really long time. Since before I met you, I've wanted to do this show, and so thank you for like inviting me onto this platform, allowing me to use my voice, allowing me to talk about my music, and just let me do my thing. I really appreciate that. And Koo, you've been great this whole time too, man. Like I appreciate you so much and killing it on everything, man.
We just broke the third wall. What is it called? What is it, the fourth wall? We just broke the fourth wall, guys.
This has been great. It's been a great experience, and shooting the music videos the other day was so much fun, and I just really appreciate both of you a lot.
Yeah, that's super nice to hear because I also feel similarly. Like we're not like we just said that we're both like these people that love hard, but I appreciated you like way before because I like remember when I would like snap you and say, oh my god, I'm watching your like at the plus when you're freestyle rapping or rap battles.
Yeah,
you're
that was
rap
old.
battles. Yeah, but like I like when I really am like interested in getting to know somebody, I really consume a lot of their stuff.
Yeah.
And like getting to know you, I also was a huge fan before like I even started the podcast. So it's cool to hear like this dynamic.
As soon as I saw you, like the first time I saw you conduct an interview, I was like, oh damn, she's got it. Like you got such a natural charisma to you, and like
stop it, keep going.
Yeah, for real. No, but for real, you it was the TYB interview. That was the first time I saw you, and it was just so comfortable. It wasn't like stuffy. It wasn't like these are my prepared questions for you. Like it was just like a human being talking to another human being, and that's what I appreciated so much.
I adored him, so it
he's
just
the
made
best.
sense.
Like and that episode was great. His performance was fantastic, and ever since that episode,
he may or may not have been hungover that day.
Oh yeah.
But he killed it.
Yeah.
Like,
I think we went hard the night before. I think I was with him the night before. And
damn,
and
it was
just,
your
like,
fault.
It was my fault. Yeah, no. Bad influence.
Yeah.
No, I remember that. No. Anyway.
No, but thank
super
you.
glad to be
Like
here, yeah.
super like kind words. I feel like even though I said this before about like a lot of people, but certainly you, it's the best feeling in the entire world when you are actually a fan.
Yeah.
And you can fuck with like the art that the people that you love and get to know and like breathe the same air with are like they're creating that, and that's also your friend. Like that's weird.
That's such a trip, isn't it?
Isn't it? Like
it's so weird, dude. I talk about that all the time.
Yeah.
I try to remind the homies like, yo, we are so
Humbling.
lucky. It's very humbling. It's because you know how many people get to do what they love to do, make money from it, get publicity from it with their best friends. Not a lot of people. Not a lot of people get to do
you
that.
You get it with Ty. You get it with
Yeah.
Luke. So
You get it
TYB,
with
West
Kate,
Korea.
like-
Yep, with Kate.
Like I remember one time we were at a show, and it was at the Plus, and there was like all the homies were out. Like this was when I was still in college, so like I had just a bunch of homies before they moved. There was a ton of us. There was me, TY, his crew, my crew. We had Nick Anderson and the Skinny Lovers were there. We were just mobbing deep. There was a lot of us, and we were sitting in the back, and we were just doing things, hanging out together, bonding. Let's say we were bonding. And I was just like, you know what, man? I was just like, kind of took a step back. We were smoking a blunt. And
I was gonna say, was this drug related?
No, I wanted to clear that up because it's like, yeah, this is very much drug related. Like all my music. No, but I sat back in that moment and just really took in the picture of all of these people that we have, just that came out for us, that enjoy the scene, that want to like just be around music. They love the Plus. They, I said to Ty, I was like, TY, I was like, dude, people come to these shows to see us, and we all get to hang out together. How crazy is that?
How insane is that? Like,
that's so cool. It's so cool. Like, our friends are so cool. Like, everyone's so cool. It blows my mind how talented and how cool our friends actually are. And like, and Eau Claire in general, like there's so much talent here.
Oh my God, I can't even tell you. Like, I cannot even begin to tell you. Like, moving to Eau Claire about 5.5 years ago. Wait, has it been 5.5 years? I don't even know. I've been here for a hot minute, and I have fully, I'm sure everyone who's watching knows this about me, I have fully invested in my community. Yeah. I fuck with Eau Claire. I love Eau Claire.
Hard. Yeah. You
like
were
in all aspects. I love it.
top
but
advocate
art,
right now.
But art, absolutely. Like art and music. Like there's so many people who are talented and can really run with the best of them.
Yeah.
And like it's like Eau Claire is housing that.
Absolutely.
Like how cool is that?
It's so cool.
It's so cool.
And you have been on the forefront of that, of really elevating the scene, really just tapping into the culture here, and just having really special people on this platform. So again, that's why I feel honored to be one of those people, is because you've been doing your damn thing out here.
Oh gosh,
like seriously,
stop.
Like both of you guys
You're
just
so
going
nice.
in, seriously. And it's so great to see, because Eau Claire has that talent. We just need someone to cultivate that, or a group of people, and
I told you I'm in the progress.
Oh yeah. Oh, we got there's plans, baby. We got plans.
But also it's like it's so hard because people always say art doesn't make like money, and it's been hard for like artists to like equate what their talents are and like what they create into dollars and cents, and it's been difficult.
Especially during the pandemic.
Absolutely. Well, absolutely the pandemic.
Yeah.
But even beforehand, or just generally speaking, it's so hard.
Absolutely.
Unless you are signed to a record label, or unless you're like on I don't know, like I like you have to look at it in some ways through the lens of business too.
Yeah.
Which is not like, it's icky for me, because I've said this so many times in podcasts. Like, I don't see myself as a business person. Like, when people offer me money, yes, I've like, there's been episodes where I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll accept some of that. But I try really not to take any money, because it does take away from like the art you want to create. You almost feel like, am I being disingenuous right now?
Dude, I love that you said that, because I feel the same way. I feel the same way, because art.
Because I want to be real about it, and I don't want it to be like produced for a check. If that makes sense.
Absolutely.
That's why I try not to take any money for anything I produce or create.
Damn. That's awesome.
It's true.
That takes a special person to realize that and like stick to their morals, because art is such a pure thing, and money in business is
just makes it dirty.
It's gross, bro. It's fucking
so
gross. And it taints,
but it's also
everything.
somewhat necessary.
It's a necessary evil.
Yeah, yeah.
And so like the two, again, duality, blah, they have to be together, you know, like, yeah. And it sucks because I feel the same way. I hate that like everyone's a fucking brand now. Even if you're not a brand, you're a brand.
Right.
Like if you're on Instagram, even if you're not selling something, you're selling yourself. You have this filter of what you want people to see. This is my brand. I'm Emily Johnson. This is my brand.
You just called out every Emily Johnson.
Yeah, you know, Emily Johnson. You heard me. No, you know what you did. No. But no, that's the thing is, it's like, I don't know. I just don't like, no one likes to feel like they're being sold something. You know what I'm saying? No one likes to feel like that. And that's where like I have troubles with this, because I never want to like be a, I don't know what I'm trying
like
to
a
say.
sellout or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like
you want to stay true and original, but isn't that what a lot of artists say though, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I just don't want to be like thirsty and get too caught up in the, you know, business aspect
like the game
of it.
part of it,
All I care about is the art. All I want to do, you could ask anyone that fucks with me, is like, I just want to make music all the time.
Yeah.
I want to perform and
No,
I want
I
to make
hear
music.
that.
I don't give a shit about the extra shit, you know, but it's a necessary evil, like you said. It's like we need to do that.
That's like what I've struggled with a lot since I started too with podcasting and like other art forms that I do. Like I write. I love writing. Like I used to always write poetry or like short stories, but definitely poetry.
I love that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, well now you know.
Aww.
Oh my god, we just had a bonding moment on
Yeah.
here. But I do write, and I'm trying to refine that more. And there's a lot of different ways that I'm expressing myself, like artistically. I love music. I appreciate it. I fuck with it. I work, and I'm so inspired by all the people that I get to be around. Like so humbled. But I can't do that. The stuff that I think I'm good at doing is a particular skill set that's artistic to me. And I always feel like I'm stuck in this place of like, I know I should kind of make money off of this because it makes sense. It shows value. But then also it's like disingenuous. Like I want to be able to do it because I just genuinely, purely love it.
Okay, can I say something real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
I think you are so fucking nice, and like almost to your detriment, and I'm saying that.
It's weird that you're saying that I'm nice because most people would not say that.
Get the fuck no.
I
There's
swear
not
God.
one. There's not one person that
I can
has met
ask
you.
one person in this room.
Okay, well
I'm
that's a
kidding.
biased source. All right.
I'm
like,
kidding.
No, but for real, like I think like what you just said about like having trouble putting a dollar amount to the art that you make. I do the same thing. It's because like I just think we're kind of humble, nice people. But there's a certain point to where it's like you've put in your time, you've put in your efforts, and you've honed your craft. You should be compensated for that, and you deserve to be compensated for that. And so then that comes a time where you need to have that stake in yourself.
It's so weird.
And plant that flag and be like, no, bitches, I'm worth this much.
See, this is the thing is I know my worth, I know my value, I know what I bring to the table is so uniquely like just attributed to what I'm able to do, and I know all that.
Yeah.
But then when you take money, I feel like now the intentions seem weird. Like it's just isn't the, I don't know. Maybe that's something I'll continue to work through. But
I was gonna say, do you think it's a personal thing? Like
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. But it's also like I want to stay really authentic to what I'm creating because I don't ever want it to go back to like there's certain things that like yes, like, you know, I guess I shouldn't have to get into all this other stuff that happened in the community, but like there's times where it's like it makes sense because you should get sponsorships. You should get
Absolutely.
all these other things because that's just naturally how the business is, and it does tie to your value and worth and how you see yourself.
Yeah.
But maybe what I'm saying specifically in terms of my podcast, I try not to take money.
Yeah.
I try not to do endorsements. I've like toyed around with those things and it just doesn't feel right. And I've worked with people where they're like, well, in order for you to get X, Y, and Z, you need to do this. I'm like, oh man, maybe I'm just stubborn too.
Dude, yeah,
It's
that's a
very
big thing too.
hard.
That's a big thing too. It's very stubborn.
It's so hard for like
Yeah.
me to feel like I'm being like quote unquote owned by somebody, you know? So I'm just like, I don't know.
Especially
if I
in a
wanna do
creative
that.
space, like
Yes.
boxes and creativity do not mix. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like you need that freedom, the spiritual freedom to,
for
do what
sure.
you want.
So I want to go back to like what you said about like social media and stuff. Like everyone and their moms and their cousins know like how much I am very present on social media.
Yeah, no, you kill it for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But I do it because I genuinely mean it and I love it. I only promote people and things and problems and situations that I really genuinely care for. I would never, none of the stuff that I post is ever for payment, obviously.
Yeah.
But the stuff I post is to promote people I love and care for, like you and everyone else around me.
Yeah.
So I'm very present on social media. However, one of the songs that you have on your album, so kind of just circling back on your mixtape, was one that we filmed. I feel like that connects with me. I could, like I said, I kept going back and forth.
Yeah.
It is probably one of my favorite songs. Like I genuinely said that was my favorite song last week. And then this week I'm like, okay, it's something else. But I absolutely love that track. Can you just tell us more about why you wrote that?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, thank you. That was the last song that I wrote for the project. It's called.
You ended it with like, I hate it here. But anyway.
Yeah. It's called "Did You See What God Just Did to Us, Man?" And I wanted to just put on display, like, again, in a very subtle way, my frustrations of like where we've grown as a culture and how influential social media is, because like it's not real, it's synthetic. And we put so much stock in that shit, and we now judge people by how many followers they have. Like their worth as a human being is like, oh shit, if you have like 25,000 followers, like, oh shit,
that's very true.
You're popping. And it's like, okay, well, they're a shitty human being, you know, like,
yeah.
What grade is that?
Who is this person you're talking about?
I don't know. I'm just giving an example. But like,
I'm kidding.
The fact that like, I don't sit well with that because it's not natural. We've lost connection. We are connected more per se, but like we've lost that human element. We're losing it more and more, and that's so like the hook on it is satirical. So I'm like, vibe with me, babe. Vibe with me, boss. Because everything's a fucking vibe. Everyone's hashtag vibing. Everything's a fucking vibe. So I wanted to make the hook that's like, vibe with me, babe. Vibe with me, boss. Vibe if we're paid. Vibe if we cross. Too clean. There's not shit what it seems. We're jumping screen to screen. Yeah. Because it's all fake. It's nothing what it's like. These beautiful like influencers and shit. It's all fake. You know what I'm saying? And so I wrote that hook as like kind of poking fun at it, you know?
But at the same time, I hear that and I agree with it. This is also why I'm like, oh my God, I love this song so much. But I'm like, oh my gosh, like there's also a value to social media, right? Because it sucks so much. And I'm going to say that it sucks so hard. Like I have so many friends that are influencers and are in this business. And, you know, realistically, I love what I'm doing. I'm like so real with what I'm doing. Yeah. However, I look at them and they're actually making money. And I say that because, like I said, one of my friends, we had a brunch the other week, and she said, yeah, I hit 10,000 followers and I made X, Y, and Z in 3 months. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Get your bag, bro. That's sick.
But it's like, I'm so proud of her too, because she kills it and she is so authentic too.
Absolutely. I think that's the thing, is authenticity.
It's so hard. Yeah, it is so hard because it is really hard, because when you create, you want to share it and you want to provide, because that's how an audience gets connected with you.
Right.
Because you could be killing it, which you do. Anyone does. And then if nobody ever discovers it, well, it's difficult. Yeah. Right? It's such a like double-edged sword.
It's so
Isn't
true.
It, though?
It's so true. It's a necessary
Isn't
evil.
It,
and also,
yeah.
I'm not going to point fingers out here because I'm on social media. I'm adding to the problem. So that's in the second verse.
But is it really a problem? It is, but it isn't, right? I don't know. We're going back and forth.
I think when it comes to like
maybe it comes down to authenticity.
I think it does.
Right? Yeah.
I think it does. And going back to like branding earlier, is that like, you know, as a product, I hate saying that, like Miles Blvd as a product, like
you're a brand, bro.
I'm a brand.
You
blah, blah, blah. But like I was like, okay, well, what is my brand? What am I? What is the message that I'm trying to get out?
Let me tell you, I've been working on my writing skills, and no, I'm just kidding, but you are.
The brand is that I'm not a brand. The brand is that I'm a fucking human being, and I'm just out here living my life, creating art the way I want to, and expressing myself through social media the way that I think is either funny or endearing or engaging, or, you know, the way I see fit. I'm not out here trying to do anything for anyone else besides me.
Yeah.
You know, and again, it goes back to authenticity.
Yeah.
You can feel, and again, why I love your work so much is because you can feel when someone's genuine about it. You can, like, what I said earlier about is no one likes to feel like they're being sold something. So if someone's on a platform, you can feel, let's say a stage. If an artist is on a stage performing, you can feel if they're connected to what they're saying. And you can also feel when they're not connected to what they're saying. And so it all just comes down to authenticity and being true to yourself, because that shines. That's what's going to attract people. I think we get too caught up in what I was saying, like the negative aspects. I think when those likes come in and those comments come in, it starts to...
It's like an addictive
It
thing.
is. And so we start to create things that we think other people would like.
Yeah. Like we think we're sharing a story, but we're just sharing a syringe.
Like, oh, man.
Dude, that's probably my favorite lyric off that, because it's so true.
It's... Well, thank you, first of all. The lyric is, it's too clear when your intention is hollow. The way we suck and swallow anything for a follow. The shit's mad cringe. We broadcast from a binge. We think we share in our stories, but we just share a syringe. This shit's addicting, bro. Like, and so my brand is that I'm a human being just like you, and I do this because it's, you know, it's a like you said, a great platform, a great tool to use. It's a tool. But I think people put way too much stock in it to where it's like their whole sense of self is in this app, you know? And again, that's why I said it's synthetic. Like, you can't build your whole self-image of yourself around something that's not real.
Yeah.
You know, if you have 10,000 followers or 100,000 followers, 100,000 followers, but you can't make a conversation or look me in my eyes when we talk.
Yeah. Like, who are you?
Dope. Good for you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so I'm just about being authentic and just getting my brand out that way, you know, and also going back to the music, the thing that made me cry when I listened to I Know a Bitch is that, like, I knew, and I know that people were going to resonate with that. I know for a fact that when people listen to my music, they get me. They get my spirit. They get my soul, because I put everything, literally everything of my being into my music. And it's not something I need to tell anyone. It's something that you feel, you know, and that's true art. And that's my TED Talk. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Let's slow it down, like, yeah. Let's slow it down, like, yeah. What we doing, man? What it sound like? Yeah, 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 yeah. Vibe with me, babe. Vibe with me, boss. Vibe if we pay. Vibe if we cross. Too clean, there ain't shit what it seem. We jumping screen to screen, screen to screen, like. Vibe with me, babe. Vibe with me, boss. Vibe if we pay. Vibe if we cross. Too clean, there ain't shit what it seem. We jumping screen to screen, screen to screen, like. Yeah, down with the wave. Some random validation, inflation, the shit we crave, yeah. This to the grave, yeah. So let me clarify. Our sense of merit on terrified till we verify. It's dumb insane how we numb the brain when it come to fame. This ain't even game, now these hunger pains from our younger strains. You know we getting high. Yeah, so don't get gassed by an image, they barely getting by. Vibe with me, babe. Vibe with me, boss. Vibe if we pay. Vibe if we cross. Too clean, there ain't shit what it seem. We jumping screen to screen, screen to screen, like. Vibe with me, babe. Vibe with me, boss. Vibe if we pay. Vibe if we cross. Too clean, there ain't shit what it seem. We jumping screen to screen, screen to screen, like. Yeah. I'm no exception, screaming out to the void. I love when there's no reception, love when there's not a mention, forcing me in reflection. Our page is tailor-made to push upward for perception. It's too clear when our intention is hollow. The way we suck and swallow anything for the follow. Shit's mad cringe, broadcast from a binge. We think we sharing our stories, but we just share a syringe, like. Vibe with me, babe. Vibe with me, boss. Vibe if we pay. Vibe if we cross. Too clean, there ain't shit what it seem. We jumping screen to screen, screen to screen, like. Vibe with me, babe. Vibe with me, boss. Vibe if we pay. Vibe if we cross. Too clean, there ain't shit what it seem. We jumping screen to screen, screen to screen, like. Hell's Virgil, I'd advise you to listen. Bitch, all the glisten, the glamour can make him stammer and stiffen and know it glisten. Doesn't mean that it's gold. Let them line up for status and watch as they all fold, man. What's true? We just do what we can. Just keep it you and everybody's a brand. Like, take my hand, look, darling, if I ain't made it clear. God damn it, I fucking hate it here.
Yeah, I need a minute for that because it's so true. Like, how many times have I said, like, even the other day when we were hanging out, I'm like just so invested in you and like asking like, how did you come up with this song? Like, because I'm so connected to it because I feel like I'm learning more about who you are as a person and all the layers of who you are through your music because it's so authentic and stuff. And so honestly, thank you so much.
Dude, what? No, thank
this.
you.
No, literally, thank you so much for this like mic drop EP or album, I guess. Mic drop mixtape because this wasn't something anybody expected to like happen, and when it did, like I consumed it like wholeheartedly 24/7, and you know, we can break the fourth wall and talk to my brother. I literally was just so like invested in this and like so connected to it.
You have been, and even before it was out, man. Like I said, your hype has seriously been like unmatched out here, and I appreciate it so much because my hype about it is through the roof, and so is yours. And I just appreciate sharing that excitement with someone, you know. And thank you for believing in
like
what
I get
do.
it. I see you. I understand.
You absolutely get
you
it,
know?
and it's super dope to share that with someone because like music is the closest thing that we can get to someone's spirit. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why people who can't walk can dance. That's why people who can't talk can sing. You know, and music is just, it hits us on such a spiritual level. And so thank you for resonating with what I make because it's my fucking spirit.
Yeah.
You know?
I get you.
You get me. You see me.
Yeah,
boo?
I do. I see you, man.
Absolutely.
So before we end the conversation, what I really want to touch base on is you talked a lot about, like, obviously this is your year. I feel like I know it. Like, what's next for you? I know this is like, this just dropped, but you're always like, I'm on to the next. I got all this stuff happening. Like, what can we expect from you this year? And like, what do you want to kind of talk about and like kind of prepare people for this year?
Well, first of all, I'm not done with the album. We're still gonna be promoting 100%. It. I'm gonna have some videos coming out, and we're gonna, you know, keep that alive and well. But like I said, I just want to keep my foot on the gas this year, and I think before I answer your question, on a personal level, I've gone through a lot of loss in recent months, in various ways, and it's taught me, one, how precious this time on earth is and how important your impact is and legacy, and how much we do truly influence the people around us. And so I realized that like I have such a talent at what I do, truly. Like I have such confidence in my writing.
Nobody else is Miles Blvd, man.
Goddamn right. No one can out-rap me, straight up. But like I'm lazy. I was not disciplined, you know, straight up. I'm not afraid to say that. I was very not disciplined with my craft. And I am right now very frustrated with where I'm at, but the only person to blame that on is me. And so this whole year is about accountability. Why am I not where I want to be? It's because I'm fucking lazy. And if I want to bring all my homies with me, get myself to a place that I've always seen myself at, successfully, with all my people taken care of, a just wonderful partner, you know, I cannot get to that place if I don't get better as a human being first, because that is going to translate into all other aspects. And so this year I've just taken a lot of account for myself. And I told myself that like I am the best, and it's time to show everyone that I'm the fucking best, and we're not cut from the same cloth. Like I'm out here. And so I'm gonna outwork everyone this year. I'm gonna out sexy you. I'm gonna out rap you. Straight up. You think I'm kidding? I'm not kidding.
No, I feel it, and I will tell you, I've known you for a bit, and I feel like your energy is different.
It is.
It really is. And we talked about this the other day too, where it's like you are looking at wellness and health in all aspects.
Yeah.
And you're investing in yourself.
Yeah.
And I feel it, and I see it.
And so the work is gonna be
gonna reflect that.
It's gonna reflect that. So to answer your question, language that I'm deeply ashamed of and will regret forever.
Still gonna be around for a
long
time.
It's out on YouTube, SoundCloud, and Bandcamp right now for free. And I was gonna say earlier, I love that you do your shit for free, because all my shit's been for free as well, because that's
why it's a mixtape.
Yeah, exactly. And that's art should be like that, you know? And so I appreciate that you approach it like that too. But I'm working on another project right now. Should I just say the name right now?
Whatever you
exclusive,
want, man.
All right, I'm gonna give you the exclusive. My next project which I'm not going to
We
tell you.
get the exclusive on my podcast. Whoa,
Yeah,
whoa.
dude. Okay, this is like the perfect place to talk about it. So I'm not going to tell you when it's going to come out because I kind of want to keep the same trend up of like keeping people guessing.
Yep.
It's called The Best Answer is a Question. I was having that conversation with my Aunt Cindy when I was down in Florida a couple weeks ago, and we were talking, and she was talking about how my Aunt Cindy is just Cindy Savage Rice. She's a great writer. She's a motivational speaker. She's just a savant, just a beautiful mind. And I never get to see her because she lives in Florida, and like this was the first time that we really got to bond this past last month, and we were talking about debate and how important dialogue and debate is with someone, especially with people you don't agree with. And she said that, oh man, I'll never forget this. I was in the backseat of my uncle's car and she was in the driver's seat, and it was just us two just sitting in the car talking, and she just turned around and she said, Phil, the best answer is a question, because that allows someone, when you're talking to them, to feel seen. When you engage with them and ask them a question, well, why do you feel like that? It allows them to feel seen, say what they want to say, and why they support it. And then maybe when it comes out, they realize, oh, maybe I don't support it as much as I thought.
Yeah.
And it gives you the comfort of knowing that, like, this is a very healthy dialogue going on right now. This person feels seen. I feel seen because it's going to get returned. And also just
that's humanity.
Exactly. And when she's like, Phil, the best answer is a question. Oh, I just fucking use my government right now. Miles, she said, Miles, the best answer is a question. And I was just like, damn, Cindy, that is profound. Because think about it. Think about what I just told you is that, like, okay, I'm unhappy right now. I'm not in a physically, mentally, spiritually good place or where I want to be. I'm in a good place. So I'm not where I want to be.
Right.
Why? The best answer is the question, why do I not feel like that? Well, because I'm drinking way too much fucking alcohol every single day. Because I'm putting toxins
And you've
in my
been
body.
sober.
And I have been a little bit. I've cut back a lot. I'm not going to quit, but moderation is healthy in
Absolutely.
anything.
And taking a pause from anything is good.
Again, going back to that pleasure thing is like I am addicted to pleasure. And so it's just identifying that. But again, it goes back to you don't get to that point unless you ask the question,
right?
And you really want to face
analyze it deeper.
Absolutely. And I'm constantly, almost to my detriment, analyzing constantly, overthinking constantly, but that phrase, man, just stuck out to me so much, and it just fits where I'm at right now. A lot has been going on in my social life, my love life, my professional life, my family life, a lot has been happening, and so I want that captured and getting to the bottom of that shit. So the best answer is a question. You heard it first.
Yeah. I want to say too, it sounds like a really healthy, like, healing journey.
Yeah.
Too, because loss does teach you a lot of things. Not that anyone, not that you want anyone to obviously go through loss and grief, but it is like good in some ways. There's a lot of stuff, like, it's weird because, and I have not talked about this before, especially on my platform, but when I was going through all the stuff that I was going through, like, you were somebody that was there, who understood and saw all the, like, odd stages of my development while I was going through my healing journey. I'm obviously thriving and, like, in such a healthy place.
You're killing it.
Thank you. But it wasn't an overnight thing.
No.
So I actually sincerely appreciate all phases and aspects of my healing journey and all the people who were around to see how weird it was for me.
That whole roller coaster,
it was so weird, but it was also, like, so necessary, and I'm so grateful for all of those like not so good times too,
because of what they teach you is so important. You learn way more from the bad shit than the good shit. The good shit is when you celebrate. The bad shit's what's going to teach you lessons, and it's just a process, like you said. It's just you need to feel and address things and be honest with yourself, because if you're not, it's just going to carry over into the next scenario, and that's going to be a mess.
Well, you hadn't, like, deeply resolved it, though.
Right,
you know
exactly.
What I mean? Or confronted
truly,
it.
like, truly. And it takes a lot of courage to do that, so I applaud you. I have no idea the first thing of what it was like to go through your journey with all that shit. And I don't want to, like that. I'm sorry that you had to deal with that shit, but, like, to see you now, like you said, dude, you're thriving right now.
Honestly, the best thing that happened to me.
That's the thing.
Duality.
Fucking let's go. Let's go. The worst shit brings out the best shit.
It was the absolute worst thing that ever like happened to me.
Yeah.
And the worst thing that I could ever have experienced. Like I couldn't comprehend.
I couldn't
Because
either.
I couldn't even imagine all this like trauma that I had went through. But
Right.
the absolute best thing, like I could never have arrived here and be in this moment with you even.
Yeah.
Thriving
You're
and
redefined.
so healthy and happy.
Yeah.
If I hadn't gone through that. And so duality.
Absolutely,
I
man.
really like appreciate all that, and I feel like I could talk to you for 1,000 more years because I think like even like talking about politics, like going back to all the stuff that like, you know, we've talked about, like hearing people and like actually having grace for yourself and like taking a minute to not just like wait to respond, but like literally listening to people. Like I feel like we talk about all that stuff
all the time.
so much forever.
I love it. I love our conversation so much because
me too.
It's never just filler bullshit. It's like,
yeah,
let's get down to some real deep shit right here,
like
you know?
how's the weather?
Yeah, the weather was great today. It was like, it was actually really nice
48
today.
degrees. It
was 48
actually
degrees
really nice.
and sunny in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. That's a win.
Absolutely, it was a win.
Yeah.
I shoveled a whole bunch yesterday. I didn't need to because all the snow melted anyway. But no, I am so sincerely grateful and humbled, like we had said before. And I will say this over and over. The fact that I get to call you a friend and anybody else that's in our life a friend who is out here killing it, like that is the best feeling in the entire world for me. And to just like be a part of somebody's journey or to like elevate them a little bit or to just kind of like awkwardly like watch from afar to see like how far that they're gonna go, like all of those things artistically, like I'm just like such a huge fan of yours and I'm just so grateful that you're here with me,
dude.
And I
like,
love you.
I fucking love you, dude. Like seriously, I'm trying not to get emotional right now because we are so lucky. Like we are so lucky to have the homies that we do and just to be on this path that we're on together. And that, you know, I really like when people use the phrase like using their geniuses, and the fact that you and I got to use our geniuses together and that cross paths, you know, like that is just a beautiful thing. And man, what a beautiful connection with the both of you, you know, throughout the years. And so again, thank you so much for believing in me and allowing me to do this. Like it's fucking dope.
Okay, stop. I feel like I'm gonna cry. I love you so much.
I love you.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. And thank you, Coop.
We're so